Hey y'all, hey, happy Monday. I just wanted to share something from church that really blessed me and something that I've been fighting with myself and really trying to come to understanding of what it is that God called me to do and why it comes with so much struggle and what it means to really be set apart. I've done quite a few videos. This is where I am in my life, understanding that consecration or what it means to be set apart, what it means to be holy, what it means to be sanctified, what does it mean? And the term consecration came up. I've only heard of it once, really, through TD Jakes, and it didn't hit me like it did yesterday at church. So I've been going through seasons or a very long season of separation from what I know, separation from where I live. I'm just 1 year in this new city or metropolitan area and the state. I finally feel official after getting my license. Took a year. And also like separation from my family, and it broke my heart having to know, where God has me at. It's not where they are, not only for myself and my emotional needs, but also I smile because my family knows me as a loner. But then the time that we share together is like amazing and laughs. Yeah, we step on each other's toes and we snap on each other, but we still come back in love and laughter. And so not being able to be there for them, I really saw that when I went home a couple of months ago, and it just broke my heart. And I'm kind of tearing up because I know God called me here, but I know my heart is somewhere else. My heart is at home, and I really want to be there for my family. But I'm like, God, I know you brought me here, and I even questioned that. And I was thinking, as I'm hearing this set apart and consecration and what that means, and I'm like, God, I'm sitting up here trying to figure out how I can be there for my family and still do what God calls me to do. And I literally can't. I can't be in two places at once. And I'm just trying to come to grips with that and holding on to who God called me to be versus who people want me to be, my friends want me to be, my family want me to be. I'm different. And I used to relish in that. But there comes a point where being different starts to hurt. That reminded me of the Easter message that Pastor Chris gave, Life Changers Church. If you're in Austin, definitely go. True man of God, and will prophesy to you for real. But and he was like, there's pain in your purpose as you're walking your purpose. And yeah, we know Jesus died on the cross, but he also got the nails in his hand and, the wraps with the catacomb, pulling the skin apart, exposing bone and muscle. And you don't put it together until you're actually walking in it and walking through it. But my point is, it's like, God did all of this to set me apart, and so much had been happening spiritual warfare, to the point like Monday, I realized I gotta stop kneeling down and bawling down and like, God, stop this and get up and fight. As one of my favorite gospel songs said, this means war. As much as I relish in living differently, I was getting tired of it. There's come a point where you're living differently to the point where like you're ostracized, or persecution is what it looks like nowadays. But people, condemn you, or, oh, she thinks she better. Oh, she think because she walking with God, she better than us. Oh, she condemning us. Oh, she judging us. Nah, baby, don't look at me because I got my own issues and God wraps me upside my head every single time. I am nowhere near perfect. I just try to walk in the spirit, and as much as sometimes I want to walk in my flesh, and let's get it straight, I do sometimes. He has to get me right back on together, but I yield and I listen because, as I was telling my director, I know his ways are better than my ways, and it's better than the world ways. And I was like, even if this is a fairy tale, what did I lose by living the way God wants us to? Nothing. I learned how to love. I treated people with love. I placed people in a way of honoring them, no matter if they report directly to me or if I saw no need for them in my life, versus, they were someone who assigned my paycheck or gave me a job evaluation, or they're my coworkers. No matter if I was angry at you, no matter if you, Lord have mercy, you rubbed my feathers, no matter if I felt like you didn't do exactly what I told you to do, and I told you a whole bunch of times, I'm still going to honor you, treat you with love and respect and kindness, because that's what God has given me to do. And he's given me that gift to love, even when I don't want to. Speaking of, God gave me, to love on someone else and to really pour into that person. And a lot of people, even myself, didn't understand why. But that's what happens when you walk in the spirit and not in your flesh. Speaking of that person, said, hey, I want to be a man of God, but I don't see myself changing my behavior. And in that, I was quiet because I didn't want to hurt this person's feelings. But what I should have stated was, and that's exactly what it's going to take to be a man of God, a woman of God, a child of God, a true disciple of Christ. You have to pick up that cross and bear it. And thank God, Jesus had help bearing that cross up the Mount of Gethsemane, but we're going to need help as well. That's where our church family, our spiritual family comes into, and that's why I was called to this person. But I also let my flesh deviate, my ego, my pride get in the way of things, and that was lost, whatever. My point though is, what's needed in any kind of call, if you're going to walk with Christ, is consecration, set yourself apart. And it's not always hard. If you're a loner like me, I'm a extrovert, introvert. Yes, talking with people give me energy, but I low-key don't want to. Hand to God, my struggle. I got the gift, and I noticed that I have a gift of where strangers will don't tell me their story. People just want me to listen to them. And then I have this desire, even though I don't want to talk, and I try to make sure I don't show on my face and try to listen to them because God sent them to me for some reason. I remember telling another person I look up to in her spiritual walk, I was like, this person told me all this and I ain't want to know, I don't care, they ain't none of my business. But I let them talk because obviously they wanted to be heard. And that's the whole point. We, in order to be who God called us spiritually, we have to set ourselves apart, even from our own desires, our own flesh. We have to walk in the spirit. And it is something that I definitely pray for every person who really, truly, want to be who God called them to be. You cannot be that person when you're walking in your flesh. You can only do that when you're walking in spirit. And I believe there's in Philippians where Paul prays for the church of Philippi, saying, hey, I hope God opens your eyes spiritually. And that has been my prayer for that person who shared that they wanted to be a child of God, but they could not see themselves deviating from a certain behavior. I pray that for the people who God has set me apart from, we're no longer the same, and they see me as oh, she's stuck up, or oh, she thinks she's better than people because she got this calling and she thinks she hears from God. Shout out to another person who told me to watch Manifest, because that's what it feels like. Walking in your calling. I was on season 2, episode 4, or 3, where the main character, Michaela, she does something to the point where it could end her career, but she knows what she's doing is right, and she's called to work with this person. So she's putting her lifelong work and everything on the line just because she was called to do something greater than herself. And that's what it's like when you're called, when God calls you and you're truly walking in who God tells you to be, even though other people, her supervisor didn't understand it, her ex who she was still in love with still didn't understand it, and even some family members didn't understand it. She still had to do what she had to do because that's what she was called to do. That's what it means to walk in the spirit, taking, life imitating art. We are to walk in the spirit, and that means slaying your flesh, baby. I hope that encouraged you. I know it's a lot. Bye, y'all.